It's how I bend my legs, or how I move my arms, my shoulders, they curl. It's almost as anticipation as if I'm going to say something important, so you must pay attention. This is not a poem. This is me actually trying to speak to you. And whatever this really may be, whatever you are actually thinking, no, this is not a poem, this is me rambling, but proving my point. Poetry is as much about the words as it's about the weight that the words they hold. The definition is more important than the words. The words that we use don't really define the things that we say anymore. There are poets on paper that it's good for people who don't have their own sense of rhythm. That's why form is taken so seriously. People don't have a sense of rhythm naturally. It is something developed with the individual. And it's hard to be the individual. Hard. It's hard to be the minority. Poetry is about its words. Words can be delivered. Performances can be given. This here, right now, this is my poem. This is my poetic emotion. Poetic endeavor. This is a persona. It is not hard to build someone to speak through, to perform, to use as a mask. I could use this. If you use this mask too much, it makes you the person slowly. I noticed that today. But let's get back to me talking about poetry. You don't even have to stay on topic to attract people's attention. There is an intensity, there's something that we're all given. We all fear, and we all fear to love, and we love to fear. We have two basic emotions. And if we boil it all down, we find the tiny piece that everyone feels. And I try to bounce words off of it to make it move and flutter. So when I have these tiny emotions, these tiny microscopic feelings, these perfect entities, these perfect ideas that we all share. That's how I describe poetry. If I don't feel your words bouncing off of me, I don't really feel you. It's funny how that might seem. It's difficult as it be. I'm transformed in various shapes. This essence that we try to awake. It's beautiful how we attempt to take. But let's make little mistake. The corrections that I justify in myself, I try not to fake. It's all impressionable. Fate. And if we let the water subside, usually the tension dissipates. But we go from the days to the days, the so-sos to the so-sos, because it's the same old, same old. Comatose. Homicidal. Suicidal. It depends on how you look at the subject and how you look at the topic and how my knees bend and how my shoulders roll in. It's like I'm gonna try to tell you something. It's like I really want you to pay attention. As I said to one of my fellow YouTubers once, he asked me, what do I do to make myself a better poet? I said, fuck, don't ask me, I'm not a fucking poet. Then I replied, afterwards, I thought about it some, and I said, it's the first time. It came to me. It was when I slowly started creating something that you would see and I would live through. I told him, anybody could read a fucking poem. Anybody can read a fucking poem. If you read a poem, I could read it to myself. So I don't need you to read it for me. If you read a poem. There's only so much that the words can do unless you are a wordsmith of sorts, something a lot more than I could only imagine, pray, hold, and hope that I could once be. So, give them that emotion. Make those words mean what you want them to mean, because you meant to stress it, but they don't hear the stress when they're reading it off of a page unless you are a wordsmith. Most poets aren't wordsmiths. I'm not. I just try to figure out a way to describe things in ways that they've never been described. And I'm trying to prove to myself that I'm not dumb. That I have some type of composure, some type of culture that I'm able to produce and at least have something to leave behind. And I got distracted. And it became a voice. If I have the ability to reach one person, if I out of the complete justification of everything that I've ever tried to do, if I could just touch one fucking person, and I could make them pause for a split second and say, I fucking know how that feels. I fucking know exactly what the fuck he's talking about. I was there. I've been there. I felt that. It hurts. It was wonderful. Whatever the expressed emotion or compulsion or the satisfaction, retraction, regardless, it's a peace. And if I could make you understand me, then at least I know someone understands me. You think I do this for you? No.